Hi, thanks for joining a new video. We're unboxing the iPhone Air. Let's begin. We're seeing a new Apple proposal to make the device ultra thin. They've achieved this, though not first Samsung and others did it before. Let's see what Apple offers with this device. Its launch price in Mexico is 25,999 pesos, and on screen you can see the reference price in dollars, so you have a better idea. However, remember that the prices here aren't the same as the ones over there. Alright, the next step involves carefully removing the device from its thin protective case. I always appreciate the fact that Apple takes great care in crafting very nice packaging. The way they designed the opening process is quite elegant as well. Now, we'll gently remove this part, and there we go. We will repeat the same process with the bottom section. There we go. Finally, we lift off the lid, and there it is. We find the drawing device and this mica. Let's go ahead and remove it. An interesting detail to note is that now you won't find any SIM card indicator, which is a departure from past generations, as in this particular case. And it supports SIM, which means you'll need to scan a QR code to add your data plan. This makes it interesting, as it was done to save space. We are going to take away this protection. And that's it. We power on the device, and as it boots up, we notice what's available in the box. That the truth is, it seems like there's not much content, and we could end this unboxing now. But let's check the main specs. Here we find a USB-C to USB-C cable, a good quality braided one. It doesn't feel like it'll break easily, though it's not very long. And keep in mind that it does not come with a charger, an issue many Apple users have already become accustomed to. Finally, we have the usual paperwork. There are also no stickers included, as has been the case for several generations, in case you were wondering. So that's it. Those are essentially all the contents of the box. There are no headphones, no case, and no charger. All of those must be bought separately. So let's set this aside and take a closer look at the phone. I have this device ready, so let's review its specs to get familiar with it. Clearly, the design is striking with a thickness of 5.64 millimeters and a weight of 165 grams. It's definitely appealing. It's not the only slim device out there. For instance, here's an Infinix Hot 60 Pro Plus, which is entry level, yet it's also very thin. And naturally, we have the well-known Galaxy S25 Edge, which is quite similar in terms of thickness, as you might notice. However, we will make detailed comparisons in future content. For now, I just wanted to inform you that there are indeed other alternatives in the realm of Android super thin devices. But, of course, in this discussion, we are focusing on iPhones, and this would indeed be the sole option for a device that is both this thin and lightweight. If you are not a user who gives too much priority to the camera system and other things, I think if you are looking for a super lightweight device and very comfortable to use, this option will be very interesting. But let's continue to know its specifications. On the front, it comes protected with ceramic shield, 2 wax, and on the back with first generation ceramic shield. And of course, it has IP68. It can be submerged. This special IP68 lasts 30 minutes at 6 meters max. For most manufacturers, IP68 means 1.5 meters, but here it's 6 meters, offering a truly exceptional level of water resistance. It features a 6.5-inch display measured diagonally. It's an OLED panel, naturally of outstanding quality, 120 Hz, which Apple refers to as promotion, and it also includes HDR technology. There's absolutely nothing we can criticize about the screen. It's truly excellent. The resolution stands at 2736 by 1260 pixels. In this instance, it features an anti-reflective coating that assists, although not quite to the extent of the Galaxy S, Ultra's anti-reflective capabilities, for instance. However, it does seem to provide a bit more assistance. For example, for comparison, here's the iPhone 16 Pro Max. Notice how it slightly reduces reflections. You can observe a less intense white color in the reflection of the iPhone Air. However, I believe it doesn't create a completely dramatic difference. Notice how it looks compared to the Galaxy S25 Ultra, which still takes away more intensity from the white color, then absorbs the reflection better. I think the difference is super noticeable. Here's the iPhone 16 Pro Max, here's iPhone Air, and here's Galaxy's -25 Ultra, just so you could kind of see the context of the anti-reflective glass. So on the screen, we don't really have any complaints, but on the sound, what do you think? We won't find stereo sound in this device because there's no audio output. The only audio output available is the headset jack for calls. In my opinion, this is a major drawback, especially when comparing it to other devices with similarly slim designs. If they have a stereo sound setup, it should be noted that the sound quality is indeed very good. The bass frequencies are present and strong, however, it lacks that sense of spaciousness. For instance, when watching a video, you will notice the audio is only coming from one side. This, I believe, is a factor that might work against it. The front camera is new with 18 megapixels and Apple refers to it as center stage. It features an f1.9 aperture and includes autofocus. If the front camera of previous iPhones was already excellent, trust me, this generation's front camera will surpass them all and be the best. Evolution is intense. Here, we find a regular preview, but it shows us another preview area at the top and bottom, similar to when there's an ultra-wide camera. The sensor is square, offering a vast view, and you can rotate the view like turning the phone, but here, holding the phone upright, is truly incredible what Apple has accomplished with this. Actually, in theory, the iPhone has the capability to automatically detect when a person is nearby and observes how you frame it. Samsung offers a similar feature, yet in this case, it's even broader. So, if there is a larger group of people, it will even switch to landscape orientation to accommodate them. The front camera, I must emphasize, is a total spectacle. It's important to note that even from the preview, it already appears stunning and spectacular. Oh, when it comes to dynamic range, unlike most cell phones that display the preview very overexposed, the photograph's result appears significantly better. You notice the cloud texture? It's great. Remember, we're in front of an HDR screen. Then certain areas, like in this photograph with the clouds, will emit a more intense brightness. This effect provides us with a greater sense of realism when we are reviewing our photos. This camera truly has an outstanding quality that is hard to match. Additionally, the front-facing camera is capable of recording in stunning 4K resolution, which is a feature I particularly appreciate because it even, by holding the device upright, you can shoot horizontal video. That's a very interesting new feature of this generation thanks to this new camera technology. And check the result. It doesn't make any sacrifice in breadth with the cropping of the sensor, because in this case I insist that we're talking about a square sensor. So the perspective is just as wide whether you hold the device vertically or horizontally. And note that the detail quality is very good, the dynamic range is very good, it has autofocus. Here's another video, this time recorded with the cell phone held horizontally. As you can see, it's practically the same experience once again. Apple is truly top-notch in this regard. Now, on the back, we will find the 48 megapixel camera. Apple refers to it as the Fusion camera. The high-resolution sensor comes equipped with a 26mm lens featuring an f1.6 aperture. Additionally, optical stabilization is integrated into the sensor shift. An important feature is that it supports 24 megapixel photos and also 12 megapixel optical quality photos. Now, let's look at the results. In this case, the detail level is impressive due to the 24 megapixel resolution, enhancing it significantly. With the 2x zoom, you'll also have a great experience. The quality looks good, even though the photo is 12 megapixels, it still appears excellent. However, regarding the maximum zoom, you'll find some limitations. Here you're seeing 5x, which is its midpoint, and finally 10x. Digital zoom, the maximum range. It is certainly quite limited when you compare it to even older iPhone models. These older models not only compete very well in terms of price, but you might even find them at a lower cost than the iPhone Air. This device is one that does not primarily focus on the camera. It falls significantly short in this regard because it lacks both an ultra-wide camera and a telephoto camera. Additionally, even though the sensor is 48 megapixels, it does not offer a broad range. Although it may not be as high as what we might find in other devices featuring 200 megapixel sensors, we will definitely conduct comparisons in the future. We'll compare them soon as Apple usually optimizes their sensors well. Remember, we're discussing a sapphire glass lens, and Apple has enhanced color rendition and other details. You'll notice various coloring styles to choose your favorite. I like that you can pick different renditions, though we usually use the standard one for tests. For video recording, you will discover that it supports 4K resolution at up to 60 frames per second. This feature is available on both the rear and front cameras, naturally keeping the high quality we expect from Apple. Right now, you are viewing a brief example that was captured using this device. By default, it records in HDR. So what you're seeing is the converted format. It is recommended to watch these videos on HDR screens to fully appreciate the highest quality possible. Here, parts of the screen emit more light for realism. It's clear that for video recording, it performs excellently, though it has a limited focal length since it only features one camera. Regarding the battery, Apple claims it can last up to 27 hours for offline video playback and up to 22 hours for streaming video, which is quite impressive. Based on these numbers, it might even outperform other Android devices with 5000 mAh batteries. Seeing that in such a slim device would be fantastic, but we should wait for the tests to confirm. Unofficially, the battery is reportedly 3,140 meters. I insist in Apple usually do not have to look too much on the capacity because they usually have a very good optimization, although of course it will be below what you could offer the battery of the Pro model or even the Pro Max model, where we will have the best possible battery capacity. So for that, we will wait for the video review as we will be able to know it in more depth. After conducting a number of different tests, supports 20 watts charging. Charger must be purchased separately. Apple promises 50% charge in 30 minutes. It won't be a revolutionary charge or anything like that in that sense, also on account of its shorter points. Interestingly, it also has wireless charging and MagSafe, so you can stick magnetic wireless chargers on it. And I like that because even in this ultra-thin design, they've managed to keep the magnets so you don't need a special case. For security, it provides us with Face ID, which means it uses three-dimensional facial recognition, even though it does not include a fingerprint reader. Naturally, the operating system comes with. Be it iOS 26 featuring Liquid Glass, which is this new design language by Apple, it will offer us beautiful reflections and other aesthetically pleasing elements. Here's a small example. Observe how the elements that move beneath that search bar are going to project some really beautiful glass-like reflections. This is the design of an entirely new operating system, which some people claim might use more battery power. We will definitely need to test it thoroughly. However, from an aesthetic standpoint, it appears very appealing, especially in terms of its artificial intelligence features. Don't forget that it is brought to you by Apple Intelligence, which is still under development. In this sense, it doesn't feel as advanced as some other proposals, although it comes well integrated. Of course, you can connect it with GPT chat for more advanced functions, but I think that in this sense, it falls a little short. Observe, for instance, let's attempt to just delete this plan. This is a fairly straightforward task for modern devices. So let's take a look. First, we need to wait because it's the first time we're using this, so it's downloading the tool. Keep in mind, Apple accomplishes this using the device's own processor. It doesn't go to the cloud, ensuring you have more privacy and theoretically increased speed as well. But let's see, it's already loaded, and now, yes, let's lock this part down and look right off the bat. It didn't detect what I wanted it to. It detected more than I wanted it to. And let's see what it does. You're looking at it yourself. The truth is that Apple is not one of the best in this regard. No, too bad then. Still, Apple's artificial intelligence team needs to be finally perfected. Finally, regarding performance, the device integrates versions of 256, 512 GB, or even 1 terabyte. I own the most basic edition. Keep in mind that you cannot expand it with cards or anything similar. In this case, you would rely on cloud storage if you need additional space. Regarding the RAM, Apple hasn't officially announced it, but it's rumored to be 12 GB. Finally, the integrated processor is the Apple A Pro, though it's a slightly reduced version compared to the one in the iPhone 17 Pro and 17 Pro Max. Here it features a GPU with 5 cores instead of 6, as in the full version. Let's run a benchmark to get a reference for the performance it might achieve. I'll reach out to you once this is finished. Now, here are the results. 3,457 points on single core and 9,051 points on multi-core. It's certainly a highly powerful device, although not the absolute most powerful available on the market. However, given its slim design, it will surely be very appealing. We are currently running the Antutu benchmark, so let's wait and then return to provide you with the final score. 16,73,455 points. In this sense, it is noticeable that it has one less GPU core because it did not become the most powerful we've seen. So I insist, it seems that this device is aimed at the type of user who perhaps won't be extremely demanding in terms of graphics processing and cameras, but simply desires an expensive cell phone. Yes, but one that is very light and provides good performance. For now, we have come to the conclusion of this video. Please remember that soon we'll create the video review and make comparisons so that you can learn more about it. Until next time, take care.